Okay, this is a quick helper on how to graph. So we're going to start with something like y equals 2x plus 3. So when we graph something, this is called slope-intercept form. The number with the x is our slope, and slope is rise over run. And the number that's by itself is the y-intercept. So we are going to start at the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where this graph crosses the y-axis. So it's the up and down vertical axis. So we're going to start there at 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to use the slope. A slope of 2, turn that into a fraction by putting it over 1. Any number can be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. So 2 over 1 means you rise 2 and you run 1. So from this starting point, we rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1, and then that would be our line. Now, sometimes we are given an equation that isn't so perfectly ready to graph. Actually, hold on, check that. Next, we're going to graph one that looks like this. Y equals negative 3 halves. Negative 3 halves x minus 4. Okay, so once again, the number that's by itself, this is where we begin. This is where we start on the y-axis. So we're going to go to negative 4. Then we're going to use our slope of negative 3 halves. Negative 3 halves means we're going to rise negative 3. Rise negative 3 basically means that we are going to move down 3. And then we are going to run or move right 2. So from the starting point, down 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. And that would be our line. So notice this first one had a positive slope, and it's like if you were walking on here, you'd be climbing a mountain. This one has a negative slope. If you were on here, you'd be like rolling down a hill. Okay, what if our equation looks more like, I don't know, 4x minus 6y equals 12. We want this to look like y equals something times x plus something. So the key here is you want your y to be by itself. So we need to get this thing by itself. First thing that we would do is subtract the 4x on both sides. So now we have negative 6y equals, you can't combine the negative 4x and the 12. Those are not like terms. So put the x term first and then the 12. Next, we still need to get that y completely by itself, so we need to get rid of this negative 6. So we would divide by negative 6. That would give us y equals, you may need to type this negative 4 divided by negative 6 into your calculator using your ABC button. So you do negative 4, your ABC button, however that button looks, negative 6, and then hit equals. It should simplify it to the fraction 2/3. So this is positive 2/3 x. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. Now this is positive 2/3 because it was negative 4 divided by negative 6, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. All right, we're going to start at negative 2 on the vertical axis. So you're going to go down 2 from the origin, and that's where we're going to start. Then we're going to use a slope of 2/3. That's rise 2, run 3. So from this point, rise 2, run 3. Rise 2, run 3. Oops, I kind of missed my marks there, didn't I? Well, you get the picture. Try to draw a nice perfectly straight line. Okay, the next thing we should talk about is the inequalities. So if we have like y is less than negative 1/2 x plus 3, that's a messy looking 3. First, we pretend that this is the line y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. So we'd start at 3. Remember, this number is where you start on the y-axis. And then from that point, we'd use a slope of negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 is going to mean down 1, right 2. So down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. So we start graphing this by graphing the line. Then we need to think about, what does this symbol mean? If it's a less than or a greater than symbol, we're going to use a dashed line. If it's a less than equal to or greater than equal to, we're going to use a solid line. So this is a less than, we're going to use a dashed line. Then we have to think about shading. Honestly, the easiest thing to do is to plug in the point 0, 0 and see what happens. So that point 0, 0 is right here. I want to know, does that point work in this inequality or not? So put 0 in place of y, put 0 in place of x. Negative 1/2 times 0 is simply 0. So we end up with 0 is less than 3. Is this a true statement? This symbol eats the bigger number. It's eating the 3. Yes, this is a true statement. That means that this point worked. So if 0, 0 works, I just made a face. If 0, 0 works, then shade the side that has 0, 0 in it. So this is the side with 0, 0. That's the side that we would shade. Okay, let's do one more. This time we're going to do let's see, 2x minus 3y is less than 6. So first we have to get y by itself. We would subtract 2x on both sides. Negative 3y is less than, you can't combine these. Then we would divide by negative 3. Okay, when you divide an inequality by a negative, that sign is going to switch. So it's going to become y is greater than positive 2/3 x minus 2. So let's graph the line. We start with the negative 2 on the y-axis. Then we use our slope. A slope of 2/3 means up 2, rise 2, run or right 3. So up 2, right 3, rise 2, run 3. Okay, then you think about the symbol. Because it does not have the equal line, this is going to be a dashed line. And then to decide which side to shade, I'm going to plug in the point 0, 0. So 0 in place of y, 0 in place of x. Ooh, go away. This thing is 0. So we have 0 is greater than negative 2. That is a true statement. So wherever 0, 0 is, that's the side that I am going to shade. Here's what it looks like if you plug in a point that doesn't work. I'm going to try plugging in this point over here. This is the point 10, 0. So put 0 in place of y, 10 in place of x. I have to use my calculator for that. 2/3 times 10 minus 2. My calculator gave me 4.6 repeated. 0 is not bigger than 4. This is a false statement, so we do not shade. So this is no shading on the side that has that point. So if you had plugged in 0, 0 and it didn't work, if it made a false statement, then you would shade the other side. So when you plug in 0, 0, if it works, I'm going to write that down. Plug in 0, 0. If it makes a true statement, shade the side that has 0, 0. If it makes a false statement, shade the other side. True statement, shade the side where 0, 0 is. False statement, shade the other side where 0, 0 isn't. The one last thing to talk about is horizontal versus vertical. So a horizontal or a vertical line looks like x equals 2. That's just a vertical line like this. Ooh, make it straight. A horizontal line has the equation y, so like y equals -4. It's a horizontal line like this.